Erikson's Psychosocial Theory of Development by Madison Parker. Erikson's theory was proposed in his 1950 book, Childhood and Society. Erikson proposed that each individual passes through 8 life stages that each contain a crisis. An individual must overcome these crises to move on. The key points of the theory are that in order to achieve a satisfying life, the individual must pass each stage, which will result in a productive member of society. Erikson also proposed, based on each culture's needs or practices, stages may need to be handled differently. The first stage, trust versus mistrust, begins when the child is born. It is the mother's job in this stage to provide care in order for the child to move on to the next stage. In autonomy versus doubt, the children begin to do things for themselves. If the child is allowed to be autonomous, the stage is passed. The initiative versus guilt stage is when the child begins to explore on their own. If the child is able to explore, this creates initiative. If the parents punish this exploration, the child begins to doubt. Industry versus inferiority is elementary school children start to compare themselves to their peers. This can result in pride or self-doubt. Identity versus role confusion. Adolescents begin to explore socially and sexually to find themselves. If they are unable to explore, they begin role confusion. Intimacy versus isolation. After developing a sense of self, individuals begin to search for a partner, resulting in intimacy or isolation. Generativity versus stagnation. The next step is to pass on information to the younger generation. If this is not completed, then stagnation begins. Integrity versus despair. This is if the person believes they have lived a satisfying life and can accept dying. Classrooms are a social environment, therefore it can be helpful for a child to be well-adjusted socially before coming to school. An example is, you as the teacher can assign a group project to the students. The students are instructed to share materials, work together, and share ideas. If the children have all completed the first 4 stages, then these tasks should seem easy and fun. If a child has not, then they may be unwilling to trust, share, and be unmotivated to contribute ideas. As a teacher, it would be beneficial to understand each stage in young children to measure where your students are at developmentally. A classroom example is, a student is placed into a group and throws a tantrum. At first, you may think the child is acting out for no reason, when really, the child may have never passed the trust versus mistrust stage. Once you figure this out, you can guide the child and help them develop trust. Here's my works cited page. Thank you.